Hi, it's Vicky. Okay, so I wanted to talk about something that I've been having problems with my whole life, and it dawned on me that I'm whoa, I do this all the time. I make excuses for rude, disrespectful people. Like I'm like, oh, he or she is having a bad day. That's why they said this to me, or that's why they acted this way towards me, or did this or that. My whole life, I've made excuses for rude people, where like it's never like their fault, and like I realized, you know what, it is their fault. I'm so over it. I'm over it, and I'm not talking about people like every once in a while they have a bad day and they might say something that you find rude or disrespectful. Okay, they you can use an excuse for them if you want, or I feel like I could still do that. I'm talking about habitual, rude, disrespectful people. And I'm not talking about people that are naturally clumsy, might bump into you or something like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about strangers who might, do something and you're like, what? Because you never know what type of culture that person has, where they probably think something isn't a big deal that you think is a big deal. But I'm talking about people that you know, and they are habitually rude and disrespectful. And if you are not a confrontational person, if you are not like a very argumentative person, and you don't want to go there with people, like I don't really like confrontation. I don't like to take it there because it takes my spirit to a place that I hate, that I don't like. It's not attractive to me. It's not fun. It just makes me feel bad when I have to argue with someone. But I'm like I I don't know why it took me this long to come to the conclusion that it's just gonna have to happen, because like some people, like if they're going to stay in my life, they're gonna have to change with me, because I I can't take it anymore with like rude, disrespectful people that have no consideration for your feelings as someone that they know and that they have a rapport with or constantly around. I always say, oh, he or she's just having a bad day. You know what? F your bad day. I do not care. Like, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to remove myself from the situation. And most times you can't argue with a very rude person, because sometimes they're looking for that. They're looking for you to argue with you. They're looking for to get a reaction out of you, to get a rise, to go back and forth. And I tend to have an even personality, so it's not like I'm always up here and down here, up here, and no, I'm pretty even in my personality. So I'm not always like, I don't. It takes a lot for me just to go off or act a certain way around other people. And I might be going up and down in my brain, but I pretty much keep my outward personality and things that people see even, you know. And I try to take in consideration other people, and some people will say, like, oh, sometimes I might say things in a way that they don't appreciate, or maybe I say things like blunter than they would appreciate, but that's not all the time thing, or something that I do in a negative way, or I never talk about people like in their face. You're like, oh, they have something good, I remind them, like, oh, you look so skinny, like, you remember when you were as fat as a cow, something like that. And I've seen things like that, and I've experienced things like that, where people, they try to remind you of negative stuff, because you know what? That's on them, and that's how they feel. You're not supposed to take those things personal. That's what we're taught. If somebody says something bad about you, it's not about you. It's about them. But guess what? They bring negativity to your spirit. That shit makes you feel like, oh gosh, and then it starts throwing in your brain, like why did they say that to me? It's just always there, and you try to, I don't know, you just make all these excuses. You're like, okay, well, that's just because they're this and that. That's because they have an issue. You know what? You're causing me to have an issue. Okay, like your negativity is causing me to have an issue. So if you are having some problem, a bad day or something, you need to learn how to self-soothe soothe and learn how to make yourself not express it outwardly to everyone or be a negative person to everyone. I don't care anymore, and I'm tired of giving people excuses. I feel like if you're going to be a part of my life or you're going to be in my life, you need to treat me with respect. And like, you don't have to, I'm not saying you have to, oh, oh, wonderful Victoria, you're just amazing, your majesty. No, I'm not talking about that. It's just common courtesy. I'm talking about common freaking courtesy. What I try to give to other people. Everyone, no matter if it's a child or adult, most times I see you and I know you, I speak to you. I don't wait around like, or, ignore you when you're talking. And I don't know, I don't like habitually rude behavior. And I know it happens sometimes, but sometimes it's not all the time. And that's what I'm talking about, that all the time behavior. We all got people in our family, we all got friends, and they say you choose your friends, but sometimes, you get into these circles of friends and it's hard to detach yourself. You create soul ties, you know, and you're bonded to each other. It happens with friends. And then you get used to habitual rudeness and you think like, oh, that's them. You know what? That is you. If that's you, well, no, not if. That's another excuse. It's not if that's them. That's them. If, the if is if I can handle it. But before I make that decision, I have to bring it to your attention. If you're worth a friend, if you're worth it as a friend, I'm going to bring my problem to your attention. And depending on your reaction to my problem with your behavior towards me will determine whether or not I am going to continue to have you in my life. Whew. Okay, so that was a rant. It was, to me, like, I used to think like when I would say stuff like that, go off like that, thinking, man, I just went off. No, I know more like more harsh people that go off and go crazy, call you all type of names, like even in this hypothetical situation, like when I said he or she, they're like that fucking, just going off. So even though I feel like I expressed myself, I don't feel like I went crazy, crazy, because there have been times where I let things sit within me and then after a while I just go off and then everything comes out wrong. I won't express myself well enough. I will cause more tension and more problems because I didn't say the problem. I didn't speak it. I didn't let it be known that something is bothering me. Even though common courtesy has common in front of it, people make this big deal of common sense. Common sense is not universal, not like we think, because some people, they have a different version of it. But common courtesy, I think, is more universal. If you bump someone, you say, "Excuse me," or "Pardon me," or "I'm sorry about that." Common courtesy. People, like, they have pride issues where they feel a certain way about themselves, which is another excuse that I won't give people anymore. Like, and they feel like, oh, you excuse, excuse you. Like, was this not your fault? I'm not giving them that excuse. I'm not giving them my energy. I'm just walk away. I just, that's like a pet peeve. I don't even know if I should include that. That's like a pet peeve of mine with people, and I think that has to do with, definitely, with pride issues and people's worth, how they feel when they can't apologize or say excuse me. That has to do with the personal issue of worth. Like me telling someone, apologizing for bumping them or stepping on their foot or something like that, me saying excuse me or I am sorry, I didn't mean to do that, it doesn't make me feel less than. And I noticed that some people, when they apologize or say or explain something, it makes them feel less than. And that's really weird to me. It's like your ego is so fragile, your pride is so fragile, and like I don't like that. This is very disturbing. So yeah. Alright, so I wasn't expecting to write this long because I'm looking at my little thing right here, the timer, and wow. Okay, so anyway, that concludes my vlog for the evening. I'll be back tomorrow. I've been writing out things that I can talk about because I'm getting more comfortable in front of the camera. Even though sometimes I can sound like the dry eyes guy. Dry eyes makes whatever, the eye drop guy. But I'm getting more comfortable, and I feel like I can talk to you like you're one of my friends. And that, I feel very proud of that because it was like so difficult for me to do this. I can tell you how many videos I posted and deleted because I just felt like, oh my gosh, who's gonna care to listen to me or look at me, And I feel like I'm finding my voice, and I can say what I want, do what I want, because what I want is not harming anyone. And if it is, go get that checked out. Alright, so thank you, and please come back and watch me again tomorrow and grow with me in this channel. Again, it's like I'm kind of like a mix of everything. That's why on my channel page the banner says life, because I'm pretty much covering life. Soon I'll be taking you guys out with me and vlogging like that. So we'll see how the community grows and builds, and maybe I'll get more people coming here, listening to me talk, rant, and explain things, and thank you. You have a wonderful evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.